The task of selecting the 10 best black movies from the 1980s from a list that could have easily been the 20 best was no easy feat. But after much back and forth, we've narrowed the list down to the 10 films that we think made the biggest impact and best represented the best of what the 1980s offered in black cinema. Of course, we know that some of you may not agree with our rankings, so have a look and please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, let's get started. Number 10, Crush Groove, 1985, the semi-autobiography of Def Jam's Records co-founder Russell Simmons, named Russell Walker in the movie. Crush Groove stars Blair Underwood as the label's co-founder and follows his attempts to acquire funding to distribute a hit record by one of the label's groups, while at the same time navigating the challenges of managing artists, securing deals, and promoting this new thing called hip-hop. And though there are other hip-hop-based movies from this early era of the 1980s, such as Breakin', Beat Street, and Wild Style, Crush Groove was the first to focus on the MCs, featuring the Beastie Boys, Run DMC, Curtis Blow, LL Cool J, and the Fat Boys. Number 9, Hollywood Shuffle, 1987, directed and co-written, along with Keenen Ivory Wayans by Robert Townsend. Hollywood Shuffle tackles and calls out a serious issue of racial stereotypes and challenges faced by black actors in the film industry. The movie follows the journey of Bobby Taylor, played by Robert Townsend himself, an inspiring actor working at a hot dog stand while dreaming of stardom. Bobby auditions for degrading roles that perpetuate negative black stereotypes, highlighting the industry's racial bias. Though filled with comedic parodies, Hollywood Shuffle doesn't shy away from showcasing the painful reality of Bobby's audition experiences. Light-skinned black actors are pigeonholed into roles as killers, thugs, pimps, or slaves, while white producers seeking an Eddie Murphy type receive an army of imitators, and directors often ask Bobby to act more black, reducing his talent to crude stereotypes. Number 8, Harlem Nights, 1989. Set in the late 1930s and directed by and starring Eddie Murphy, Harlem Nights' storyline revolves around Sugar Ray, played by Richard Pryor, and his adopted son Quick, played by Eddie Murphy, who run a popular and lavish nightclub called Club Sugar Ray. While on the surface appearing to be a place of classy entertainment and sophistication, the club serves as a front for various illegal activities, including gambling, the sale of bootleg liquor, and a brothel in the back, ran by Madame Vera, played by Della Reese. Things start to go downhill when local crime boss Bugsy Calhoun sets his sights on the club and demands a cut of the profits. Aside from Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, and Della Reese, Harlem Nights also features Charlie Murphy, Red Fox, Thomas McKell Ford, Arsenio Hall, Ronaldo Ray, Jasmine Guy, and the unforgettable Leela Rashawn as Sunshine, who's so good at her job that she causes Bugsy's bagman to call home and utter one of the funniest lines in movie history. "Hey Barbara, yeah, it's Richie. Yeah, look here, I ain't never coming home no more. Take it easy." Number 7, Coming to America, 1988. Having grown tired of being awakened every morning by a string orchestra, then having beautiful women scatter rose petals in his path as they prepare to bathe and dress him, when Prince Akeem, played by Eddie Murphy, of the wealthy African nation of Zamunda, is told he will be wed in an arranged marriage, he decides that he's finally had enough and announces he wants a life of independence and to marry someone he truly loves. And just where will he find such a woman? In America. And just where in America can he find a woman fit for a king? Queens, of course. So along with his royal friend Semi, played by Arsenio Hall, Prince Akeem travels to Queens, New York. Posing as poor foreign students, they rent a rundown apartment in Queens and attend a neighborhood rally where Akeem meets Lisa McDowell, played by Sherry Headley, a woman who embodies his ideal qualities. To get closer to her, Akeem, along with Semi, take menial jobs at a local fast food restaurant called McDowell's, a bootleg version of McDonald's owned by Lisa's father, played by John Amos. However, in his effort to find true love, Akeem must contend with the disapproval of his parents, played by James Earl Jones and Madge Sinclair, Lisa's father, and her soul glow Jerry curl hair-wearing boyfriend, played by Eric LaSalle, all the while trying to hide the truth of his wealth. Number 6, School Days, 1988. Written, directed, and produced by by Spike Lee, School Days explores the conflicts of classism, colorism, political activism, and other social issues among students of the fictitious HBCU, Mission College, over the span of the school's homecoming weekend. The film primarily follows the experiences of two cousins, Dap, played by Lawrence Fishburne, and Half Pint, played by Spike Lee, who have differing perspectives on their place in the world and their responsibilities as Black individuals. Dap is an activist who is deeply committed to social and political causes, advocating for a more Afrocentric curriculum and encouraging fellow students to embrace their African heritage. In contrast, Half Pint is more concerned with fitting in and is willing to conform to societal norms and expectations. The fraternities and sororities at Mission College are divided along the lines of wannabes, who align themselves with lighter skin tones and privilege, and the jigaboos, who embrace a more Afrocentric identity. Along with its vibrant musical numbers, including the memorable Good and Bad Hair sequence, which highlights the complexities of beauty standards within the Black community, the film's energetic and thought-provoking approach offers a thought-provoking and engaging look at the complexities of Black identity and culture, all set against the amazing backdrop of a historically Black college campus. Number 5. Lean on Me, 1989. Based on the true story of high school principal Joe Clark, Lean on Me stars Morgan Freeman as the no-nonsense principal assigned to Paterson, New Jersey's East Side High School, a troubled school facing academic failure and a host of other issues. Upon his arrival at the high school, Joe Clark wastes no time in enforcing dress codes and implementing strict discipline. However, his unconventional methods cause resistance from both students and teachers. But despite the opposition from these groups, along with the school board and community, Joe Clark persists in his quest for academic excellence and order. With his firm belief in the potential of his students, Principal Clark shows unwavering dedication to transforming East Side High into a place of learning and achievement. Number 4. Glory, 1989. Glory is a powerful and historically significant film that tells the story of one of the first all-Black regiments in the American Civil War, the 54th Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry. It is a tale of not only bravery and sacrifice, but also of the unimaginable racial struggles for Black soldiers during that era. Denzel Washington delivers an Oscar-winning performance as Private Tripp, a formerly enslaved man who serves in the regiment and represents the struggles and aspirations of the Black soldiers. Morgan Freeman also shines as Sergeant Major John Rollins, a wise and experienced soldier who provides leadership and guidance to his fellow troops. The film portrays the 54th Massachusetts training, its pivotal role in the Battle of Fort Wagner, and the sacrifices made by the Black soldiers. The Battle of Fort Wagner, a harrowing and heroic assault on the heavily fortified Confederate position, serves as the film's climactic and emotionally charged centerpiece. Number 3. Do the Right Thing, 1989. Written, directed, and produced by Spike Lee, Do the Right Thing is set on one block in Brooklyn's Bed-Stuy neighborhood and unfolds across the span of one scorching summer day. The story revolves around Sal's famous pizzeria, the only white-owned business in the neighborhood. Mookie, played by Spike Lee himself, works there as a pizza delivery guy for Sal and is friends with Sal's younger son, Vito, which upsets Sal's other son, Pino, who hates that Black people are the majority in the neighborhood. The simmering racial tensions within the community come to a head when the character, Buggin' Out, demands that Sal includes pictures of Black heroes on the pizzeria's wall of fame for Italian Americans. He's supported by Radio Raheem, who refuses to turn off his boombox radio inside Sal's establishment. The situation escalates when Sal smashes the radio in anger, leading to the arrival of the police and the tragic death of Radio Raheem. In response, Mookie throws a garbage can through Sal's window and a riot ensues, resulting in the destruction of the pizzeria. During the 1990 Oscars ceremony, while announcing the Best Picture nominees, actress Kim Basinger caused a bit of controversy when she ignored her scripted text and said, "We've got 5 great films here, and they're great for one reason, because they tell the truth. But there is one film missing from this list that deserves to be on it, because ironically, it might tell the biggest truth of all, and that that's Do the Right Thing. So what picture would go on to win the Oscar for Best Picture in 1989? That would be Driving Miss Daisy. Number 2, A Soldier's Story, 1984. Set towards the end of World War II, A Soldier's Story takes place at a segregated U.S. Army base in Fort Neal, Louisiana. Captain Davenport, played by Howard E. Rollins Jr., a black Army attorney, is dispatched to Fort Neal to investigate the brutal shooting of Sergeant Vernon Waters, played by Adolph Caesar. Through interviews with Sergeant Waters' men, Davenport uncovers a disturbing truth. Waters was a cruel man who aligned himself with the white world while harboring hate for his own heritage. This revelation raises questions about the identity of the killer. Was it a racist white officer or members of the local Ku Klux Klan? Or could the killer have been a black soldier who had had enough of Waters' constant disrespect and race baiting? Though many have made mention of Denzel's amazing performance as Private First Class Peterson in the film, we would respectively argue that Adolph Caesar's portrayal of Sergeant Waters was even more masterful and definitely worthy of his Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor. Number 1, The Color Purple, 1985. Adapted from the 1982 Pulitzer Prize-winning novel by Alice Walker, The Color Purple follows the heart-wrenching life journey of Celie, played by Dayretta Jackson and Whoopi Goldberg, who endures a life of abuse and rape from both her father and the man, Mr., played by Danny Glover, she is forced to marry. With the help of standout performances from Oprah Winfrey as Sophia and Margaret Avery as Shug, The Color Purple has stood the test of time and remains one of those rare movies that when you're scrolling through the channels and you see it's on, you immediately put the remote down and watch a few minutes, if not the whole movie. Well, that's it, folks. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.